Okay, and I want you to know we have not seen these questions ahead of time, so we don't play that game. We are willing to try to answer hard questions. There is a bill. This question asks about Senate Bill 226, run by Senator John Johnson. It's School of General Education Act, and I don't know if Rick's seen this, but I think it did go through the Senate. I'm not sure we've seen it yet. We haven't voted on this, but what it does is eliminates woke dogma from higher education. The idea is just to establish an independent school of general education at university level to kind of look at what's being produced in our schools. And the question here asks, do you think it'll help take politics out of education or push the opposing end of the political spectrum? We live in a country that we believe in freedom of thought and freedom of expression. But I think it's very clear that most of us want our children to go to school and learn how to read, write, and do mathematics and survive in the real world and maybe not delve into dogma on any end of the spectrum. That's what university's for. When children get to university, they have the educational level and the adult understanding to maybe start talking about these issues. And so I think this is what Senator Johnson's getting after in the bill. He'd like us to focus back on the basics in education and not to inculcate our kids with ideas that maybe are too presented to them too early in their lives. And I'm a proponent of that. I teach at the university level. I love to teach, and I love to have opposing ideas. For example, I taught a class where I had a Palestinian woman who was quite militant, and alongside I had a Marine who had deployed 3 times to Iraq and Afghanistan. At the beginning of that class, they were opposed to each other in almost every way. They were enemies. And by the end, they were friends because we had learned how to talk about ideas and not condemn each other, but to have open conversations and understand how each other felt about issues. So I think that's my point. Education of our children in K through 12 is to teach them how to survive in the real world, to have the basic knowledge that they need. When you get to the university level, that's the place to explore ideas. Political ideas and otherwise. Thank you. I've got one last question real quick, and it's an important one. It says, for years, Utah has been advertised as the best state in the country. Now that people are listening and that they're moving here to our state, how do we preserve our way of life? It's so appealing to others and help them to understand the type of decisions that got us there. And it's like I said at the very beginning, if we want to maintain our way of life here, there's one sure way to do it: get off the couch. All of you do that. That's why you're here. We live in a world that is filled with entertainment decisions. Turn off your TV and get involved. I was talking to some parents out here before the meeting, worried about some of the things in education. I think we have the greatest schools in the world, but we make them better when volunteers and parents are in the school and they're observing and they're involved and they're helping. So to maintain our way of life in Utah, get off the couch, get involved, run for public office. That's a civic duty. Secondly, there's one thing in Utah that really troubles me, and I love this state. It's my state. I am of the predominant faith here. But we are passive-aggressive, folks, and we got to stop it. We want to love everybody, and we want everybody to love us. And so we speak kindly to them, and then we put a knife in their back. Put the knife in the front. So what do I mean? I mean we need to be, so we have what I call passive negative aggression, and then we have open positive aggression. We need to be open. We need to be not phony, no masks, be who we are, integrate and activate with people, love everybody, but loving doesn't mean you don't have principles. Do not sacrifice your principles because you want somebody to love you. Bad idea. Hold to your principles, get involved, be kind, be positive, be firm. And that's how we maintain our state. We can stay on the couch. What's happening in our country is the vast majority of people who don't agree with what's going on remain silent or feel like their voice is not being heard. Make your voice heard. That's why we run every 2 years. You can get rid of us if you don't like us and put somebody else in here that'll do the job. So maintain those principles.